Hello everyone and welcome to GoldenNova's First Reacts, where I'm the first to react to things as long as I'm the first person you go to react to things. Some news dropped recently about the latest update to the legendary duelist set focused on light attribute archetypes. Now, there's a ton of those out there, but what could possibly get an update to fill one of the slots here? We've seen Trickstar, we've seen Mizar's Galaxy Tachyon stuff, and now we are adding an Xyz archetype to the already existing list that has an Xyz monster, except I'm lying. It's XYZ instead. We are getting an update to Kaiba's Light Machine Union monsters, which of course means that we are getting an update to Chaz's Light Machine Unions. This is actually kind of wild, so this has the potential to just be a group of, funny haha nostalgia cards, but there is a lot of good infrastructure already. Union Hangar and the ABC Light Machine Unions already proved that you can make a pretty competent strategy out of that, and begrudgingly, with all of the Ojama support that's been released, it's actually pretty easy to get these into rotation. Now, I'm not entirely sure how cards like Ojama Simulation will work in this regard, considering XYZ Dragon Cannon specifically names X, Y, and Z, and it looks like we have retrains of X, Y, and Z coming up, but I don't know anything about their card text at the moment. Will they be treated as it while in the deck? Will we be able to leverage them just like the originals? Only one way to find out. Let's go ahead and get started with X Cross Cannon. Light Machine, level 4, 1800 attack, 1500 defense. Get that box out of the way there, that's a little annoying. If you control a Light Machine Fusion or Union monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's not particularly difficult. And during your main phase, you can equip one appropriate Light Machine Union monster from your deck to this card, and if it were equipped by that monster's effect, as if it were equipped by that monster's effect. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except light monsters. Oh, that's funny. So it doesn't have that text where it keeps the monster from special summoning itself, so you can just bring it out. We're only restricted to light extra deck monsters. Oh, the terror. And any appropriate Light Machine Union, which I believe includes Union Driver, which is a whole host, a whole gaggle of things. So that's a pretty nifty start to that. Wide Dragon Earhead. Okay. If this card is special summoned, you can equip one of your banished level 4 Light Machine monsters to this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except light monsters. Oh, any Light Machine that's level 4. Well, generally with all of this, they are going to be unions anyway, but it's not necessary. So I don't know if there's any non-union ones that'll be relevant for this, but it is an option. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. You can either target a machine monster you control to equip this card to it. If it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy this card instead, or special summon this equipped text. Oh, okay, so this is just the Union text. X Cross Cannon is not a Union monster, as it was originally a normal monster. This one is actually a Union, and this is much cleaner text. Beforehand, the Union stuff was this big block you had to parse out individually. This is really good. I hope that we get something like this in the TCG when it comes over, because that's really good. Z-Zillion Tank or Z-Zillion Caterpillar. Both of those are fantastic names. If this card is special summoned, you can equip one of your banished level 4 Light Machine monsters to your hand, to this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except light monsters. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Is this just the Union stuff? Do these have exactly the same effect? Summoned, you can put one of your banished light level 4 monsters to this card. Also, yeah, it's literally, these two are literally the exact same card. Now, we're going to be banishing them fairly often because for summoning ABC Dragon Buster and ABC Dragon Cannon, you do banish the materials for all of them. So once they get banished, you can bring them back for this. I guess we'll see how that factors into our new monster, Hyper Dragon Cannon. Okay, so the ones that we have seen previously do not take on their old names, but now we have a new fusion monster that does name all three of these ones, so this could just simply end up replacing it. Though, to be fair, if you want to access, like, the higher-end XYZ stuff, you do kind of have to play the originals, it turns out, because it looks like none of this is going to be replacing that. It is XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. Level 9, 3000 attack, 2900 defense, light machine fusion, requiring X Cross Cannon, Y Dragon Earhead, and Z Zillion Tank. Must first be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards from your field and or graveyard. It has the ABC Dragon Buster text. Okay. Once per opponent's turn as a quick effect, you can discard a card, then target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. Quick effect removal. You can banish this card from your field or graveyard and reveal a level 8 light machine fusion monster from your extra deck. Special summon up to 3 material whose names are mentioned on it from your grave and or banishment. Special summon up to 3 materials whose names are listed on it from your grave or banishment. So you can reveal... No, it's a level 8 light machine fusion monster. Huh. What's a level 8 light machine fusion? We'll check that out in just a second. I don't get caught up on that one. For now, we have to check out the fusion monster that has enemy controller on it. Union Controller. Light machine fusion, level 6, 2200 attack, 1900 defense, requiring any light machine monster or a Y Dragon Earhead or Z Zillion Tank. It must first be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards that you control. You can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. So if we summon if we summon Earhead or Zillion Tank, we just equip it from the banishment and then banish them again to make Union Controller. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can add a spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that mentions Union Monster. Once per turn, you can special summon a light machine, normal or Union monster from your hand. Okay, so it just helps turbo out those necessary monsters, and when it hits when it's special summoned, we're basically getting Union Hanger, I imagine. I don't know if there are any other... We're gonna have to do a little digging to see what relevant cards are here for that. Union Activation, normal spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. Send one light machine, normal or Union monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, add a light machine monster with the same attack but a different original name from your deck to your hand. And if you special summon 3 light machine monsters at the same time while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card to add a monster with 3000 or more attack from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon it. Okay, that's a... I think that's just a Kaiba reference. There has to be some instance where Kaiba tribute summons Blue Eyes White Dragon. There simply has to be. And this has Union Monster in there, so we can search this off of Union Controller. Okay, so I need to double check what Hyper Dragon Cannon, what its last effect is checking for. Level 8 Light Machine Fusion Monsters. 1 second. In this world, Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Database has the answers. So, level 8, light, machine, and fusion. I said the machine part like I clicked it, but I actually did not. There we go. Okay, level 8 light machine fusion monster. Okay, so there are exactly 4 of them, and they are the ones that you would kind of expect. So we have... making sure that we're still visible here. Yeah, so we have ABC Dragon Buster. Now this summons from the grave or banishment, so not from the deck, which is unfortunate. We can't just peel them all out, but we can get ABC... Is it up to 3? There's up to 3 materials in admission on it from grave or banishment. That's pretty funny. So we could actually get out 2 Cyber Dragons with Cyber Twin Dragon. And it's from the graveyard or banishment, so there's actually a ton of monsters whose names are treated as Cyber Dragon while in the graveyard. So there's food for that. VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon uses exclusively fusion monsters, but it doesn't pull from any decks, so we'd have to already get it out there, so it doesn't work with that. And then, of course, there's XYZ Dragon Cannon. So we cannot choose XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon itself because it is a level 9, so it has to be one of those 4, and I suppose the idea is to get either the ABC or the XYZ materials to help facilitate those. But I am 100% certain that you're revealing ABC Dragon Buster to summon back A, B, and C. If they're somehow still banished... It's from the graveyard, too, so you could, like, somehow have them all in the graveyard after you summon them back with Dragon Buster, but they didn't stay on the field. there's got to be some wild combos with this one that I'm not picking up on right now. We also need to figure out what spell or trap cards that mention Union Monster in the text. We can figure that out pretty quickly. Union Monster. Spells. Okay, total of 6 of these. Of course, it does search Union Hanger. It also gets XYZ Combine. If your Light Machine Union Monster card is banished, you can special summon an X-Head, Y Dragon, or Z Metal Tank from your deck, and you can return a fusion monster you control to the extra deck to special summon up to 2 of your banished monsters with different names among X-Head, Y Dragon, and Z Metal. I don't know if we'll play that, but that's pretty funny. It also searches Pegasus Wing because, you know, we need to have the Valkyrie synergy. What about trap cards? We have Formation Union, Rollout, Super Quantal, Union Scramble. Target up to 3 of your banished Light Machine normal monsters and or Light Machine Unions and special summon them. During either player's turn except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the grave, then target one of your Light Machine normal or Light Machine Unions that are banished and return it to the hand. That's nifty. And then XYZ Hyper Cannon. You must control XYZ Dragon Cannon or a fusion monster that lists it as material to activate this card's effect. During your turn, you can target one of your banished Union monsters and place it on the bottom of the deck for a draw. During your opponent's turn, you can discard any number of cards and then target the same number of cards your opponent controls and to destroy them. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to actually use that, but, you know, it's options. Union activation is probably one of the most interesting ones. So we send a Light Machine normal or Union from hand or deck to the grave, which normally is going to be the deck. If you do, add a Light Machine monster with the same attack but a different original name. So we can send... Is it add or special summon? Let's just add one with the same attack from your deck to your hand. So we'll probably be sending the original copies of these to Graveyard so that we can add these ones out. Because these ones are actually useful and we would want to... Although, I guess maybe we want to send these to the Graveyard because we can use these from the grave as material for Hyper Dragon Cannon while they're in the Graveyard. One more check here. I suppose we need to know what the ABC monsters' attack stats are. So we have... What do we have so far? We've got 18... Is it just the attack we're looking for here? Wrong one. Nope. Yeah, wrong one. Okay, same attack but different... Okay, same attack, different original name. So we have 18, 15... 18, 15, 15. Oh, so we could just do X-Cross into... We could do Earhead into Z-Zillion, actually. We don't even need to run the originals to access those ones. We can just do that. That's pretty good. But I want to double-check... A... Assault Core. Is that what it's... We're just going to refresh this really quickly. Assault Core has 1900s. That doesn't line up with anything. Buster Drake. 1500 lines up with our Y and Z. And Crush Wyvern is 12. Okay, so we actually have a pretty good overlap of monsters with 1500 attack in this zone. So, that's pretty nifty. Huh. Alright, so what does this largely accomplish? At the moment, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. Hyper Dragon Cannon is a better option going first because now it's reactive removal instead of just being infinite removal on the original version. The second effect isn't a quick play, so we can't do it out of nowhere like ABC Dragon Buster can, but that's Dragon Buster's territory, not ours. There's no actual overlap between these two sets of cards. None of them count as the others. So the only way we're able to overlap them is with Union activation, which we can pretty easily get into our hand with Union Controller. It's easier access to Union Hanger, which is pretty good. And this also just turbos out more of our light machines that we need into rotation. Aside from that, I don't really know. This does feel like we have hit more upon the this is fun legacy nostalgia support here. I don't see this card is a credible threat to anything at top tables, which I must make sure that I solidify my opinion here. I do not think that makes these cards invalid, but it's just one of the things you want to be evaluating about cards as best you can. And I don't want to raise anyone's expectations that this is the next threat to the meta kind of deal. But if you like Light Machine Unions, if you like Chaz, if you like Kaiba, these are going to be pretty excellent additions to your card pool. And like I said, Ojama Simulation does still work with this. Hyper Dragon Cannon is a light machine with 3 specifically named materials, so we can get a lot more useful cards out of this for that. One might argue that it's actually a huge upgrade for that deck, any more than the actual Light Machine Unions. But, of course, I trust that all of you have a broader depth and breadth of knowledge than I do, so I'm asking here, what's cooking? What is the community looking forward to with these? What's possible right now? What have I overlooked? I want to hear from you because I want to know. Let me know down in the comments, and make sure you click all the funny buttons because it makes me happy when you click all of the funny buttons, both on the YouTube. When I say subscribe, it should light up if you're not subscribed yet, and I think that's a very funny feature. And in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to covering all of the light Duelist Pack cards in the future. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.